In the headlines, Kanu orders crackdown on same-sex marriage promoters. Court declines Yahaya Bello's plea to transfer 80 billion naira fraud case to Kogi State. Court hears El-Rufai's 423 billion naira theft suit against Kaduna Assembly July 17th. And on the foreign scene, Israeli jets hit UN school in Nusret, Gaza. Hello, welcome to News Updates on Trust TV. I am Lilian Ogazi. Now to the news. The Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has directed the state Hisbah board to crack down on groups suspected to be promoting and advocating for LGBTQ rights in Kano. The directive was coming amid rising tension over the activities of groups allegedly promoting same-sex marriage in the state. The Commissioner for Information, Baba Dantier, disclosed this in an interview on Monday, and according to the Commissioner, the activities of the group codenamed WISE, or Women Initiative for Sustainable Empowerment and Equality, were a complete breach of the state's moral standards and a violation of the Sharia. The Commissioner said the state government would not accept any agreement proposing or promoting the activities of gays and lesbians as it contravened the norms and values of the people of Kano. The Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Soho, has declined the request to transfer the 80.2 billion naira fraud trial of ex-Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello from Abuja to Kogi State. In a judgment on Monday, the court directed that a request by Bello for the transfer of the alleged money laundering case instituted against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to Kogi State be presented in open court. In a letter addressed to his lawyers, Abdul Wahab Mohammed and Musa Yakubu, the Chief Judge drew the attention of the former Governor's Council to a pending appeal in the case, Yahaya Adoza Bello versus FRN, wherein the defendant had sought a consequential order, remitting the case to the Chief Judge for reassignment. The letter, signed by his special assistant, said as a result it would be improper to take any step tantamount to preempting the outcome of the appeal. Bello had in June, while filing for the plea, argued that he preferred to be arraigned in Lokoja, being the place where the alleged money laundering offense was committed. The Federal High Court in Kaduna has fixed July 17th to hear the fundamental rights suit filed by ex-Governor Nasir El-Rufai against the State House of Assembly and others. El-Rufai is in the suit praying the court to quash a report of the Assembly indicting him of 423 billion naira theft. And the suit through his lawyer Abdul Hakim Mustafa, El-Rufai argued that the Assembly breached his right to fair hearing by not inviting him in the course of the probe. He is arguing the court to declare the reports of the Assembly's ad hoc committee indicting it null and void. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Monday opposed an application by former Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, for the release of his passport to facilitate an overseas medical trip. Defense counsel Labi Lawal had filed an affidavit seeking the release of Emefiele's passport to enable him to travel to the United Kingdom for medical treatment, which he was objected to by EFCC. Monday's affidavit by the defense and the counter affidavit by the prosecution was in furtherance of the ones made earlier on the matter on June 25, 2024 by both teams. A statement on Monday by the Commission's head of media and publicity, Bello said the prosecution counsel Mohammed Omeiza, furtherance to the counter affidavit, told the court that there was no medical report before the court showing that Emefiele was plagued by an ailment. He added that if there was no evidence to support that it could not be treated locally in Nigeria. Despite numerous efforts to resolve the crisis rocking the main opposition, People's Democratic Party in Katsina State, the situation remains unresolved. The crisis has been exacerbated by allegations that the caretaker committee members of the PDP hijacked the nomination forms forward local government and state congress. Abdullahi Yamadi tells us more.
This is the first time major stakeholders from the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Katsina are meeting to brainstorm on the lingering crisis arising from the hijacking of the party's nomination forms meant for the upcoming congresses in the state. The stakeholders are accusing the party's state caretaker committee members who are allegedly loyal to the 2023 governorship candidate Yakubu Lado Damariki of masterminding the crisis and hijacking the Congress's nomination forms meant for Katsina State.
We're going to surmount it, whatever be the case. Our focus is not even the party congresses. Our focus is to take over the reins of power in Katsina State particularly, and Nigeria in general. So we cannot just be shortchanged. This group is not a small group that you can play with.
The stakeholders urged the National Working Committee of the PDP to, in the best interest of the party, instruct the State Caretaker Committee to release the forms to organize seamless congresses in the state.
On the 24th of June, we were at the national headquarters of the party. 25th, we were there. And even on the 26th, we were there. We have consulted them. We have taken in our letters to them. We have held a press conference in Abuja regarding the purchase of funds. They said we should come back to Katsina. They called the chairman caretaker committee. They asked him to come to Katsina and sell the funds to us. And we came back to Katsina. We went back to him. The chairman caretaker committee, one Musa A. Karim. Yes, but despite that, up till now, nothing has happened. But we will continue to push.
Speakers at the meeting alleged conspiracy and sabotage from some members of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and the PDP national body, accusing them of working towards destroying the party at all levels before 2027. They, however, vowed to restore peace in the party to rescue the state and the country from what they described as enemies of democracy.
They want to make sure they tarnish the image of PDP. They want to make sure there's no PDP on ground in all the states I made mention. You understand? So this is the only way. If they did not cripple PDP, they will not win the election. When PDP is still on board, they will not win the election. But when there is no PDP, they can do anything, That's the only way they can get the mandate.
Political observers described the lack of formidable opposition that could ensure checks and balances in the ruling parties as one of the major impediments to Nigeria's democracy. They urged the PDP leadership at all levels to mend fences and give peace a chance. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Meanwhile, the River State House of Assembly, led by Martins Amewole, has issued a 7-day ultimatum to Governor Simlaye Fubara to represent the 2024 budget to the House. The order follows the first sitting of the pro-Wike House on Monday. After some months, the other House, led by Victor Okojumbo, is also holding a parallel sitting where a commissioner designate is being screened. This is the second time the Amewole-led Assembly have directed Fubara to represent the budget. Fubara had earlier presented the budget to the House loyal to him when his current Chief of Staff, Edison Ehie, presided as the Speaker. Ehie and other pro-Fubara lawmakers passed the budget estimate and the governor signed the bill into law. An appeal court in Abuja had last week overruled the Port Harcourt ruling, which barred the Amewole-led Assembly from parading themselves as members of the Assembly.
Has failed in his duty, in his oath of office, to present the appropriation bill to the River State House of Assembly. He has failed to do so up till this date. The Constitution in Section 121 mandates the governor to present the appropriation bill to the House of Assembly. In Section 122, the Constitution gives a window for the governor to spend in the event that there is no appropriation law. but limits that window to 6 months. Honorable members, the 6 months window allowed to the governor has since elapsed on the 30th day of June. As we speak, there is no window for the governor to spend taxpayers' money or any fund from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of Rivers State. We also notify the governor that in total disregard to provisions of the 1999 Constitution as altered and the judgment delivered on the 4th day of July 2024 by the Court of Appeal in appeal number CA/PS/198/2024, in which all actions taken by the 3 suspended members, including purported screening and confirmation of commissioner nominees for appointments, caretaker committees, and other approvals, has been declared null and void.
The Senate's President Godswill Akpabio has charged the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, NIVS, to deal with the issue of quackery in the part of real estate agents who are ripping off citizens, especially in urban cities like Abuja and Lagos. Akpabio spoke on the sidelines of the institution's event-themed role of professional bodies in microdevelopment, Nigeria's renewed hope perspective. Neil Sampson has more.
The real estate sector creates jobs, drives infrastructure development, contributes to wealth creations, generates tax revenues, and promotes economic stability. Understanding the role of real estate in the economy is crucial for policymakers, investors, and individuals, hence the need for stakeholders to address impediments such as quackery in the sector.
As we ponder on the significance of professional bodies in national development. However, let us employ the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers to lead the charge in coping the exploitation of tenants by real estate agents, who are, in my opinion, mostly quacks within your industry. And this happens particularly in bustling cities like Lagos and Abuja. We look to this esteemed organization to establish integrity.
The 26th president of the institute, Victor Adekunle Alonge, highlighted how real estate contributes to the national GDP of the country, while the leader of the Senate, Michael Bamidele, who delivered the inauguration lecture, and the representative of the vice president all lent their voices to calls for greater service delivery from the institution.
According to data obtained from Survey Worldwide Research in 2023, the total value of the global real estate assets is estimated at $379.7 trillion at the end of 2022. This outpaced the combined value of global equity and bond assets, estimated at $264 trillion. Real estate is also thrice as valuable as the total value of proven global oil reserves and represents about 4 times the value of global GDP.
Professional bodies play a vital role in setting and maintaining the standards of their respective professions. They develop and enforce codes of conduct and guidelines that ensure that professionals are competent, reliable, and trustworthy. I congratulate the Institute for the depth of its thinking and the clarity of its vision as evidenced in this topic. It shows clearly that the board and membership of the NIESV see their role clearly in the equation of national development and are prepared to contribute their quota to the quest for a better nation.
The Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and the Lagos State Governor also highlighted the importance of the real estate sector in the country.
The institution that I would say came to our rescue and showed us a way forward and a way in which we could amend our initial offering was the Nigerian Institute of Surveyors and Valuers. Lagos has never looked back from there. Similarly now, we are in a situation where we have had to take hold of the government's revenue, totally reorganize it.
So we feel truly proud as Lagos State, to be identified with your institutes, a great institute that we know and will appreciate what value they bring on the table, how strategic they are at implementing a lot of government policies and government programs.
High point was the presentation of awards to some deserving individuals. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Moving on, resident doctors at the Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu Teaching Hospital in Awka, Anambra State have threatened to embark on strike if their outstanding allowances are not paid and poor working conditions persist. The Association of Resident Doctors, led by Vice President Onyebuchi Choku, gave the threat after an ordinary general meeting following the expiration of a 21 working day ultimatum issued to the government. According to Ichoku, the doctors have been struggling with harsh working conditions, including inadequate facilities and equipment, which have hindered their ability to provide optimal care through patients. He said that the hospital management and the state government have been neglecting their responsibilities, leaving the doctor with no choice but to consider strike action. The doctors had demanded the payment of hazard allowance, medical residency, training fund, and the implementation of 25% increase in basic salary effective from July 2023. And now to Kaduna, where health workers in Kaduna State have embarked on a 5-day warning strike. The industrial action involved members of Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwife Association of Hospitals and Administrative Pharmacies and Association of Medical Laboratory Sciences, who are demanding for outstanding allowances, amongst others. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more.
Public hospital in Kaduna State were a shadow of themselves on Monday as rendered only skeletal services due to the industrial action, which left only doctors and laboratory technicians on duty. The industrial action left many patients stranded at the Borodiko Teaching Hospital in Kaduna.
It's because they felt that they are healthy, and it's because they felt that they are sound today. Tomorrow they will fall sick, regardless of whosoever they are. Doctors die, nurses die, traders die, politicians die. If they allow lives to be lost here, they too will die one day. So I want to put it to them that whatever be the reason for which they abandon lives here, care less about the lives they abandon here, they should rethink and see that they return back to the post of their duty.
We brought our father on Thursday because he had an accident and was seriously bleeding, but he was not attended to until after 3 days. Although he was administered drip on Saturday, since then nobody has even talked to us again. It is my husband that is admitted and he is unconscious. We have spent 4 days here without access to any kind of treatment, despite the fact that ran several tests and scans. Meanwhile, union leaders came and asked the nurses to stop the skeletal services they were rendering, so they all left. Now we can't even take him back home due to his critical condition.
There is no adjective that I can describe this ugly situation. Actually, it is not the best. Where people are sick, seriously unconsciousness, they brought here. Some accident occur, very dangerous, fatal one, very fatal one. They refuse even to be attended. The greatest astonishment, the union came and drive those that are attending to the patients.
The health workers embarked on the strike over issues that are yet to be resolved between them and the state government regarding the CONHES salary structure since 2009.
For quite some time, since October 2023, we have been pressing home our demands with the government through the Office of the Head of Service. We have been engaging the Office of the Head of Service as regards to our 30% balance of the 2009 CONHES salary. 2009, not 2019. So you can imagine the number of years. And we have been patient. We have been going to the government, telling them the reality of things, pressing our demands.
And then there's also the issue of 2023 hazard allowance. Sometimes November 2023, the Commissioner for Health invited us and asked us to do a computation of the financial implication of the 2023 hazard allowance.
The health workers say welfare has been a major challenge, which is why most of their colleagues would rather move abroad for better remuneration.
The major reason for for this brain drain is a result of poor welfare. If the workers are properly taken care of, I don't think they will leave the comfort of their own country to go to another place to render services. But if the workers are being taken care of properly, I think there will be no reason for them to travel out. Most of them will remain here because some of the countries they are, the weather is not as friendly as ours, but they tend to withstand that because of what the remuneration they will get while working there.
The strike forced many relatives to take their patients home or other private hospitals for medical attention. When contacted, the permanent secretary of the State Ministry for Health, Aisha Mohammed, said she would officially react to the development on Tuesday. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And now on the foreign scene, Europe's main stock market slipped at the open on Tuesday as investors track new political landscapes in France and Britain and look ahead to testimony from Federal Reserve Chief Jerome Powell. London's FTSE index fell 0.2% to 8,177.71 points. In the Eurozone, the Paris CAC 40 index dropped 0.4% to 7,594.16 points, and Frankfurt DAX shed 0.5% to 18,379.03. Patient staffs have fled the Al-Ahli Arab Hospital and the Patient Friends Benevolent Society Hospital after the Israeli military issues another mass evacuation order for parts of Gaza City. The Israeli military said its warplanes attacked a school complex in the Nozriat refugee camp area of central Gaza. A medical said the wounded people were treated in hospital after an attack on the UNRWA facility in Nozriat. Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh warns of a disastrous repercussion for truce talks if Israel massacres, killings and displacements in the Gaza Strip continues. The White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby says mediators are trying to close gaps as between Hamas and Israel after Egyptian, Israeli, Jordanian and U.S. ceasefire negotiators met in Cairo on Monday. At least 38,193 people have been killed and 87,903 wounded in Israel's war on Gaza since October 7th. And in sports, Jose Peseiro has been linked with a return to the Super Eagles coaching job after leading the Super Eagles to a second-place finish at the AFCON 2023. Peseiro left his position and was replaced by Finidi George. The former winger has since taken over the Rivers United head coach job. According to Gerard Baloyi of local agency, Peseiro has been offered to South African Premier Soccer League giant Mamelodi Sundowns. The Portuguese joins Frenchman Patrice Cartron and former Orlando Pirates head coach Joseph Zamboa, who are also linked with Sundowns. Baloyi, however, said despite Peseiro's being linked with Sundown coaching job, he could return to the Super Eagles job. Nigerian-born mixed martial arts fighter Israel Adesanya is the betting favorite in the August 18th face-off against middleweight champion Dakers Du Plessis at UFC 305 in Perth, Australia. Despite losing his title to Sean Strickland at the UFC 293 in September 2023, Adesanya is favored to win back his belt with odds set at 125 compared to Du Plessis at plus 102. This means $100,000 bet on Adesanya would return $80,000. $100 bet will return $80,000, while $100,000 bet on Du Plessis will return $102, as he is the underdog. This bout marks Du Plessis' first title defense since a split decision with victory over Sean Strickland at UFC 297 in January. With that, we've come to the end of News Update here on Trust TV. Do also follow us across all our social media platforms for more news programs and documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.